That's right, I will build the world's fastest Himalayan ever by more than doubling the original horsepower, and I'll do it on a budget. The Himalayan took the world by an absolute storm, but they made one huge mistake.
Dog slow. Power. Slow. Horsepower. Power. Underpowered. Horsepower. More power.
And I'm gonna fix it. See, the absolutely measly 26 horsepower and 411cc between its legs leaves much to be desired. This tiny little engine struggles mightily with any steeper ascents, and highway miles just become an absolute chore. Which means that on a highway you will either vibrate the fillings out to your teeth or get overtaken by absolutely everything. Himalayan is an absolutely incredible bike, and with it, it was never really a question of if it's gonna get you there. It's more of a question of when. Anything at all above 5,500 RPM doesn't increase any power whatsoever, just increases the vibration as the engine desperately begs you for mercy. And in the picture comes the 625cc KTM LC4 engine from 1999. That I divorced from his chassis, along with some other important bits like suspension, rear suspension, swing arm, wheels. These Austrian anabolic steroids should finally fix the Royal Enfield shortcomings and make the Speed Bomb 411 an actual Himalayan and be worthy of its name. You know what? I actually have two. Just in case, you never know. Now looking at them, something tells me that it will not be a walk in the park. So, smash that subscribe button and let's get into it. Did I just make a whoosh sound with my mouth? Wow. I am in fact aware that Himalayan has huge and loyal following all around the world, and rightfully so. It's an awesome bike. However...
So, how old were you when you first realised that your wiener isn't big enough?
This is my bike. It's my vision, and I'm gonna try to do right by you guys. So, don't hate just yet, just give me a try and I'll try to do it, okay? Before we get into nuts and bolts of the whole build, let me give you a slight backstory of this whole thing. So I got the Hemi about a year ago for way too cheap. Shout out to Enrique, amigo, gracias. But it did not come without its own problems. It has about 42,000 kilometers on the clock, and it actually shows. It comes with various bits twisted, broken off, rusted and missing, but overall it's in a great shape. In fact, in such a great shape that when I went to Madrid to pick the bike up for a 450 km ride back, it didn't start. A fuse and a spark plug later, I was on my way home on the new Vibrator 411, only to be stranded on the side of the highway about 30 minutes later. Luckily I had some tools with me, and after a slight troubleshooting on the side of the highway, not dangerous at all, I found it to be the problem with the fuel pump not working. See, the connector of the fuel pump was broken, it did not exist anymore. So the wires were just stuck on the pins by themselves, and with the vibration they just fell off. So I did what every responsible adult would do. Took copious amounts of tape, taped it up, and I've done about 10,000 kilometers that way. You know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And with this absolutely incredible you guys, let's get back to garage and let's get to work. Welcome to Man Cave Customs. This is my dungeon. Look at me, look at me. You're the daily now. And in fact it's true, with the Himalayan out of commission now, this is gonna be my daily. You might say it looks like a shitbox, and it is. In fact, my latest video on why you should buy a shitbox is here or here. It blew up the internet for me, so check it out if you have time. Well, knowing that I've dreamed about this for like 2 years, you might think that I'm well prepared for this, that I've bought parts well in advance, that I have a plan more or less how this is gonna work. Nope. But in true Man Cave fashion, I have all of the engine, most of the vision, some of the skills, and that is why if you have any ideas, suggestions, or you see me make a massive mistake, please let me know in the comments immediately. Help! The LC4 engine seems to be actually smaller than the original engine, so the size and the space shouldn't be a problem. It does have radiators and oil cooler, for which we'll need to locate a space for, but I guess there's no better way to find out than taking some measurements. But before that, let's put it on scale. 1895. And the rear is 99 kilos. Technology. Woo, that got me excited. 89 and 99 kilos, that's pretty decent. This stuff got me so excited I want to put the Aprilia as well on the scale. Just want to see for a difference because that bike is supposed to be really light. Noticeably physically lighter than that one. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, eh? Wow. Less than 130 kilos, that is crazy. And what, 60 horsepower? That is absolutely wild. You can let me know if you think I should fix this, because obviously it doesn't run like many of my other things, because it's a shitbox. Alright, we've done some provisional measurements, and of course, we'll do some more when the engine actually comes out, but for now at least we have an idea what we're looking at. And as you would expect, absolutely nothing lines up, but overall the engine similarity in size is pretty similar. The KTM engine is even smaller, so we should be good to go. One thing that hit my mind is that I'm gonna have to reuse this puppy from KTM because the drive is on the other side of the engine. Pretty damn important that the engine is aligned with the sprocket of the wheel, right? So that we don't have any of this and breaking the chain and stuff, so that's a thought to keep up in mind. Obviously also, white t-shirt in garage, splendid idea, gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, the Himalayan is as soft as your grandma's TV sofa. So I've also saved the suspension from the LC4, which will greatly improve the ride of this motorcycle. More bigger, more better, America. Another very important thing that I noticed while taking the measurements of the engines is that the engine here is held in by a cradle that just comes out, and it's a complete bolt out. So I don't need to make any incredibly expensive mistakes. Speaking of expensive mistakes, I'll probably make a bunch. So if you want to be part of this world's first KTM 640 with 60 horsepower, you can subscribe me if you go down to the Patreon in the description, or if you click join and become a member of the channel. If you don't wanna, or you cannot, don't worry about it. Having you here watching my video is the best thing ever. So thank you for your time. Now let's continue with the video. I will not bore you with the details, but engine swap in Spain is an absolute no-no. Cutting the frame as little as possible is absolutely crucial. And even better if it's reversible at a snap of fingers in like 3 days of work. So yeah guys, we're outlaws here, living on the edge. Yeah, you might be wondering why the hell I'm pushing this. I blew it up. Come man, check it out. Bro,